At this time, I'll call the November 6th board meeting to order. If you'll stand for the pledge, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, we have to approve the agenda.
I would like to add to the agenda, item 1, I'd like to, is regarding selection of board officers to be effective as soon as possible.
At this time, we need to approve the modified board agenda.
Madam Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the modified agenda.
I need a motion.
I make that motion.
Need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. At this time, we'll have the selection of the board officers.
All right, I'd like to nominate Gerald Wheeler as the president of our school board member. School board meeting, I'm sorry.
Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Need a motion for board secretary.
I nominate Ms. Riley.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Superintendent report? We got
We got it.
We already approved the agenda. It's just approved the modified agenda. Okay.
Superintendent report, Mr. Ross.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've got 2 items I'd like to ask the board to please consider in executive session. I've got a personnel contract matter and a use of facility matter. personnel contract matter and use of facility matter. I appreciate the board would consider those in executive session. And since our last board meeting, we've had 2 state championships won by our athletic teams. The Lake Corman High School volleyball team won, and the Fernando High School girls cross country team won. Let's give them a very excited that both of those teams won, and we will be recognizing them at upcoming board meetings. And so they will be here, and we get to recognize them, give them certificates, and celebrate with them. So we're very proud of them. And that concludes my superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Olson. Mr. Keith, do you have an attorney report?
I do not.
Thank you. Approval of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the October 16th, 2025 board meeting and October 17th, 2025 special call board meeting.
Do I need a second? I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Consent agenda. Line item A through MMM. Mr. Olson, do you have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. So, new business. Line item A. Line item A.
Yes, sir. Line item A is the district is requesting the board's approval to enter into a contractual agreement with Allen and Cultural for architectural services for the Horn Lake High School preschool playground.
Mr. Olson, do you have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve entering into a contractual agreement with Allen Oshel for architectural services for the preschool playground at Horn Lake High School.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Line item B, Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir. A reverse auction was conducted on October the 24th. The Bus AC retrofit project. I recommend the board accept the lowest and the best bid from Waters International Trucks Incorporated.
Mr. Olson, do you have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the bid from Waters for the AC retrofit for transportation.
Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Line item C, Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir. Reverse auction was conducted on October the 29th for the cafeteria decor package rebid. I recommend the board accept the lowest and the best bid from Interior Elements.
Mr. Olson, do you have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the lowest and best bid interior elements for the cafeteria decor package rebid at Lewisburg High School.
Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Line item D, Mr. Williams.
So sealed bids were open on October the 14th for HVAC renovations at Hope Sullivan Elementary. I recommend the board accept the lowest and the best bid from J.C. Hartsfield Company.
Mr. Olson, do you have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the bid from J.C. Hartfield for the HVAC renovation project at Hope Sullivan Elementary School.
Do I have a motion?
Make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Line item E, Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir. We're requesting the board's approval to enter into a contractual agreement with J.C. Hartfield Company Incorporated for the HVAC replacement at Hope Sullivan Elementary.
Mr. Olson, do you have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve entering into a contractual agreement with J.C. Hartfield for the HVAC renovation project at Hope Sullivan Elementary School.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Line item F.
Yes, sir. A reverse auction was conducted on October the 27th for district-wide janitorial cleaning and paper supplies. I recommend the board accept the lowest and the best bids from American Paper and Twine, Brady Industries, and Panola Paper Company for each line item.
Mr. Olson, do you have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the bid for the janitorial cleaning and paper supplies.
Do I have a motion?
Make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Line item G, Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir. We request the board's approval of an emergency purchase for Blue Sky Restorations to repair the storm damaged roof and remove the debris at Wallace Elementary. The cost exceeded $50,000 of the normally required bids, but delaying the work would have been taken to students and staff. Documentation is attached and repairs were completed promptly to allow school to open safely the next day.
Do I have a recommendation, Mr. Olson?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the emergency purchase for plant maintenance, Blue Sky Restoration.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Sullivan.
Sullivan.
So.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Line item H, Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir. We request the board's approval for payment of a vendor at Desoto Central High School for services rendered prior to a purchase order being issued. The contract was approved, but a requisition was not entered in time. Steps are now in place to prevent this from happening again, and documentation is attached.
Mr. Olson, do you have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend to the board to approve the request to pay the vendor for DeSoto Central High School.
Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Line item I, Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir. We're requesting the board's approval for payment to a vendor at Horn Lake Middle School for services rendered prior to a purchase order. The requisition was submitted the day before the item was needed. Staff absence, the delayed entry measures have been implemented to prevent further occurrence.
Mr. Olson, do you have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the request to pay the vendor for Horn Lake Middle School.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Line item J, Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir. We're requesting that the board approve payment to a vendor for Olive Branch Elementary for commodities received prior to a purchase order. Confusion and personnel changes causes the delay. Steps are now in place to prevent it from happening again.
Mr. Olson, do you have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the request to pay the vendor for Olive Branch Elementary School.
Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Line item K, Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir. We request that the board approve the purchase of 2 trucks other than buses with subsequent approval by the Mississippi Department of Education. The vendor is on state contract, quotes have been obtained, and the vehicle will be paid, payable by district maintenance fund.
Mr. Olson, do you have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the request to purchase vehicles for transportation.
Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Ms. Hackett.
Afternoon.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
You ready?
Ready?
Line item L, Ms. Hackett.
Revenue collections through September for general funds are at $69,783,585, which is about $71,000 higher than FY '25 revenues and $69,711,884. The increase is due to the increased evaluation of ad valorem and increased MSFF. Revenues for all funds are at 80,395,592, which is down actually 6% over last year. But that, if you'll remember, this is when we did our last drawdown with our ESSER funds, and it was right at the $6 to $7 million point that we drew it down. So this should start to trend normal as all ESSER funds now are completely gone. General fund expenditures through September are at $75,432,999 and are more than FY25 expenditures at $58,397,708. This is also due to the depletion of all ESSER funding and expenditures being moved back to district maintenance. And of course, your normal budget increases like your salary raises and et cetera. Expenditures for all funds are at $91,300,268, and the increase is in line with the budget.
Mr. Olson, do you have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the statement of revenue and expenditure for September 2025.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Item M, Ms. Hadley.
Okay, the combined balance sheet, the fund balance for all general funds are at $192,496,054, which is down about $400,000 from FY25, which was $192,907,237. The fund balance will begin to move closer to the FY24 figures with, again, all the ESSER funds being depleted and all the expenditures being moved back to district maintenance.
Mr. Olson, do you have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the combined balance sheet for September 2025.
Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Line item M, Ms. Hadley.
Okay, the September cash balance for district maintenance is at $191,452,185, which is 82% of the cash balance for all funds, standing at $234,846,200. The amount invested with Shellnut and Regions Bank at the end of September is at $52,069,545.
Mr. Olson, do you have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the statement of cash flow for September 2025.
Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Line item O, Ms. Hadley.
Okay, I am happy to report that all bank statements have been reconciled with no exceptions.
Sounds good.
Mr. Olson, do you have a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the certification of bank reconciliations for September 2025.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second, so.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Mr. Alexander, personnel.
Sir, pages 1 through 4 recommendations, pages 5 through 7 are personnel changes. Page 8 is a memo from a director of athletics, Ms. Jenkins, for a paraprofessional who worked with the track team at South Central High. Page 9 is a memo from Mr. Sykes, our principal at South Haven High School's request to pay an employee who worked time after school as a tutor, hours worked, and she was inadvertently left off a previous board approved list. It's a few days, but it's a total of 5 hours and 45 minutes that we need to pay. Page 10 is the district vehicle assignment for the 25-26 school year. Page 11 is the chief operations officer flow chart. Page 12 is the technology flow chart. Page 13 is the residency flow chart. Page 14 is health services flow chart. Page 15 is risk management and JDC flow chart. Page 16 is the child nutrition flow chart. Page 17 is the transportation flow chart. And page 18 is the physical plant maintenance flow chart. Pages 19 through 21 is the director of health services job description. It's just a simple change in who they report to. Pages 22 through 23 is the administrative assistant work duties. Page 25 is the operations flow chart. Page 26 is Executive Director of Finance Flow Chart. Page 27 is Assistant Executive Director Flow Chart. Page 28 is Student Services Flow Chart. Page 29 is request for additional pay from Ms. Gosh, our Director of Special Ed, on a mid-share change that will take place at DCP, South Central Primary, and this person worked 30 hours at $30 per hour. This will begin 11/6 through 6/30/26. Page 30 is a request for additional pay from Ms. Ingram, our Director of Federal Programs, on teachers who will work as after-school tutors for special education students. This will begin 11/7, and this will run through 5/22/26 at $30 per hour. And then page 31, a request for additional pay from Ms. Russell, our Director of High Schools, on an employee who will serve as a critical needs teacher at Centerville High School, which will teach geometry for 2 sections at $1,000 per section, and be paid in 2 installments under November through December checks.
Mr. Austin, do you have recommendations?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend to the board to approve personnel as presented.
Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Mr. Finley.
Mr. Chairman, we have to do the best of the matter, if that's the way it's at.
At this point, sir, request to appear. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Austin if we get through this.
Okay, yes, sir. The first, with request to appear and with public comment, if it involves an employee or student matter, that would go to executive session. So when I call on you, if it involves like a school employee or something of that nature, you can let us know, or if it involves your student. The first one is initials DF. DF. Okay, does yours involve personnel or a student? Okay. Yes. No, ma'am. We'll call you into executive session when we get done. Okay, great. Thank you. All right. And next up, Ms. Pegram. Okay. We saw what yours is. It doesn't involve a student, or an employee.
So do I come forth now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you. Before we get started, request to appear, you got 10 minutes on all the requests to appear. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I'll be your timekeeper. I'll give you a warning. You got 1 minute.
okay, thank you. My matter is directly regarding Michelle Henley. Hi, Michelle, I'm Pam Pegram. I don't think we've ever met. I did see you in the courtroom recently when you read your letter on behalf of the predator that was actually on trial at that time. I've done a little research, and I just want to say that no school board, I really appreciate it if you look at me, please. No school board member should ever support someone who has been indicted for a crime against a child in their district. I mean, that is gross negligence that goes against what you were elected to do and provide to the students. And it says on the website that talks about school board members that you're supposed to use critical thinking. And you stated the reason that you did that was because your daughter asked you to, which is absolutely not critical thinking. You weren't thinking about what was best for your students that you were elected to care for. You were just trying to please your child, and that's not okay. Next, the purpose of a character reference letter is to persuade the judge to show leniency when it comes to sentencing. Well, after we heard that there were 64,000 pages of evidence against this predator who is 9.5 years older than the victim who attended the school in your district, right? Remember? After we heard that, she was released on house arrest, and she was returned to a house that is within 3,000 square feet of Desoto Central High School, Desoto Central Middle School, and Desoto Central Elementary School. And she is there at this very moment. She is there. She is released there. It's also within 3,000 square feet of the Snowden Grove playground. Her house arrest was so lenient that recently we heard her mom testify under oath at a federal bond hearing that she was the predator was recently out running errands and stopped by Ashley Ford's house where her mom was babysitting Ashley's child. And so she's not even adhering to the regulations to not being around children. Like, this is reckless and frightening. Being on the school board, the website states, is an enormous responsibility. The site says, as a school board member, the decisions you make will affect children and their parents. You're a part of this sentencing. You asked for leniency on behalf of her. And even though her mom said she never imagined this was going on, her brother testified, he never imagined this was going on. You were willing to write a letter on her behalf to get leniency. You stated that she was coaching your daughter. Have you ever considered that she could have possibly had an ulterior motive for being alone with your child? She certainly did with my family member. You and I sat in the same courtroom. We heard the predator acknowledge and confess to a long list of gross and felonious activities. You heard the brave young girl read her victim statement and tell everyone in that courtroom about the vile and evil things that the predator had done. You heard the despair in the victim's mother's letter. You heard the frustration and the anger from the victim's stepdad. You heard you were called up there, read your letter, and given an opportunity to retract your support. You could have any time said, I'm so sorry, but now that I know what I know, I can no longer support this. But you cowardly refused to stand up for a child that attended school in your district. You stood with an adult and said, who had violated her in a gross way, who has confessed to sexual battery on a child. The Mississippi School Board Association states that you are to take responsibility for your actions, that you have the courage to make difficult decisions, and that you are to be respected by the community. You haven't taken responsibility. You made an excuse for the letter.
None.
Can I say something? Sorry. This is time for you to talk. Anything else is disruptive. You have your time to talk if you want to talk.
Look how.
Okay, all right, well, hold on a second.
Because you made excuses for it, you've lost the respect of the people, the majority of the people who elected you. I also noticed that you listed your church on the information. We're the same faith. And so I know that you should do the right thing. I know that you should take accountability for what you did, that you should acknowledge your fault, and that you should admit it and realize that you failed this time in this situation and step down from your elected seat. You're allowing pride to play a role and to come before what is right, what is good, what is moral, and what is best for our community. To the board, you have a really, really important job. I implore you to be strong people of character and integrity. This is not okay. I do not believe that there are no options for her to be removed from this board. I know that there's a way for that to happen. And as long as you stand firm, Ms. Henley, for the wrong reason, I will stand firm for the right reason. All throughout Scripture, it says that we are to protect the vulnerable. I've already had one grandchild who was not protected, and it's devastating. I will not let it happen to another one of my grandchildren, and I have 5 more coming up in this school system. You cannot represent them. I will not allow it. And so I will fight, not because I'm against you, but because I am for the children. I am for what is good. I am for what is right. And you all should be as well. You need to link arms with me and stand shoulder to shoulder with me and make sure that what y'all all agreed to when you signed up to run for this board is upheld. We all know it's not a big paycheck for you. It's not going to ruin you financially to do the right thing. Today is the day. I'm going to ask you personally, woman to woman, mom to mom, Christian to Christian, to please step down from this position. Do what is right. You have an opportunity to stand up and say, I should have never written that letter. I should have never stood firm. I should have retracted it when I was given the opportunity. Please forgive me. That is an opportunity that you have to do right now. I ask you to please do the right thing. Will you? Ma'am, why would you not respond to me? What would be the purpose for you to not respond to me? While we're talking, can I just be very clear? You're not the victim. There's one victim in this situation. There's only one. It's not the predator's family. It's not the church she attended. It's not me. And it's certainly not you. There is one victim. You're not being victimized here. You're not being mistreated. You did the wrong thing. You need to own it, and you need to step down. I'm asking you. Will you? I'll take that as a no. So I ask you to please help us. To tell us, what do we do now? Do we need a petition? How many people need to be on that petition? What are our next steps?
I'll sign it.
See, 1 minute. I'll see if we can find out.
I appreciate the opportunity that you speak back to me. That's a very mature and adult thing for y'all to do. And I will see you at the next school board meeting.
Next on the list, we have Mr. J.C. Those are the initials. You come forward, please, sir. You state your name as you get to the podium, and you'll have 10 minutes also. And we saw yours is not about employees or students either.
Right. I just turned 45 this month, and I just thought it would be a good time to exercise my constitutional rights, because I know we're not gonna have them forever, and I thank you for honoring this privilege, because I call it a privilege because it's not a right. Rights can be taken away because it has already been taken away in my city that I've lived in for over 10 years. They will not allow me the constitutional privilege to come up there and publicly challenge their purview. So, but I'm not here for that. I'm not here to complain about that. I know y'all can't do nothing about that. I'm just here to give you my epistemological ideas and my opinions, right? Knowledge is epistemological. We have empirical knowledge and we have conceptual knowledge. My son is coming home and he's talking, right, what he's learning and stuff, but I don't think y'all are challenging him enough. He has a very vivid imagination. And Albert Einstein once said, imagination is more important than knowledge. He also said that it's a miracle that curiosity survives modern education. And I know that's a generality because my curiosity didn't survive modern education. When I got out of high school, I had no imagination. I was like a programmed automaton. I didn't question nothing. And I went to college to major in math. It's like, that didn't do anything for my imagination. And I'm not talking at any of y'all. I'm just here releasing my thoughts in the atmosphere, right? because that is my constitutional right. And with epistemology, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but my fifth grader brought home some science, and it had photosynthesis on it, right? I know there's a lot of conjecture literature on photosynthesis, and I can't prove it wrong, I can't prove it right, but one thing I can do is study the etymology of the word. Photosynthesis has an etymology, and a philologist will tell you more about photosynthesis than a scientist. The word photosynthesis is combined with two different words. Photons, photo, right, come from the sun. They're invisible particles. They're not immaterial. And synthesis. What is a synthesis? A synthesis is a set of ideas and theories to form a system, right? That don't sound like empirical knowledge. That sounds like conceptual knowledge. It's a concept. Same thing with God. God is a concept. We can't prove God empirically, but we can, conceptualize how we all got here, why we're here. The evidence is endless to me. But those are the things I'm talking about. Challenging their imagination, right? Sparking their curiosity. I know I'm not here pushing religion or nothing like that, right? I'm just releasing my thoughts in the atmosphere. But I think it's imperative that we teach children how to think, not what to think. Their minds are very delicate, and we need to be trying to find ways to provoke their curiosity. And I know that takes a lot. It takes a lot more than me just coming up here and throwing my ideas out here. But I plan on coming back. I ran out of things to say. I don't want to lose you. I was going to get on the intrinsic value of multiplication, but y'all are just going to think I'm weird. But I love y'all. That might not sound sincere, but I can say that with full sincerity because God lives in me through the Holy Spirit. The same Spirit that's been manifesting men for over 2,000 years manifested me at the age of 40. I have a will to love. I don't have a will to power. I don't have a will to pleasure. I only have a will to love. And I love y'all. God bless y'all.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Crawford. All right, next up, Mr. TL, is that Mr. Littlejohn? And yours does not refer to a student or employee, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. You can come forward, and once again, just like our other speakers, you have 10 minutes.
Yes, sir. First, I would like to thank the school board. I would thank the four of you that wrote that letter to distance yourself from this oxymoron of a board member. There can never be a predator sympathizing school board member. That does not work. I would like to thank Mr. Usleton also for aiding me trying to close a loophole that a predator got to use as she got pleaded guilty to child sex crimes and she got to lay her head at home. Let me introduce myself. I am Tyler Littlejohn. I am stepfather to the victim, and I am an educator in this district. What I witnessed on the 13th, other than an illegal and unethical sentencing of a person convicted of a child sex crime of a former student of District 2, Desoto County School District. I noticed my daughter walk into a packed courtroom, tell and relive her trauma in front of many people that she did not know. She was brave, courageous. She had integrity and most of all, backbone. Then I saw Michelle Henley. She stuttered over her words. She came up with answers that didn't fit. She admitted she wrote a letter
on behalf of her daughter, that it wasn't personal. Not, it was personal, but not using her title, even though it was mentioned twice in her letter. And then also, that she did not know the charge, even though the indictment is a public record. She read her letter after my daughter's statement, after the predator admitted her wrong to the horrific abuse that she did. And you still stood by it. You had a way out. You chose not to. We tell our students, actions speak louder than words. You can tell me you're going to do your homework, but when I see it, I know you did. You said that you don't condone what she did, but you sat on her side. You wrote that letter to soften the judge's heart, to give mercy to a person that committed a sex crime. Two perspectives I want to share with the board and all that are here. One, as a teacher, I cannot trust your judgment. You blindly accepted a favor from your daughter to write a letter for a predator that you did not know what she was charged with. You didn't do your research. You just said yes. How do I not know you're doing backdoor deals with people, decisions for our county schools?
Amen.
You do no research. You ask no questions. You blindly did. As a father, concerns me that you're willing to support a predator. I'm happy that nothing happened to your daughter when she was arm lengths away from a predator. I'm glad that predator didn't abuse your trust, because I promise you weren't at every training session watching him like you thought you would be. Instead, you let that predator train your daughter. I'm glad nothing happened to her, not like the abuse that happened to mine. Your letter was used as a weapon to let a predator go free, to invalidate my daughter's abuse, to silence my daughter. I am my daughter's voice. You wrote a letter on behalf of yours. I'm here defending mine. Since you're in the business of giving favors, step down. Stop embarrassing the school board. Stop embarrassing yourself. Stop embarrassing the school district that our kids are a part of. If you don't, what little respect you have will be gone. And just know, if you do run for re-election, your opponent has all the ammunition they need to run for this right here. And it will be a smear campaign that you have to answer for over and over. Right or wrong, step down. Stop representing our kids, because you are a predator sympathizing school board.
That concludes the request to appear section of our agenda. Next, we have public comment, and public comment with the same guidelines as earlier. No student or personnel matters can be discussed in open session. Those will be in executive session. Just to be clear, just to make sure these will be 5 minutes maximum. For those for 10, this will be 5 minutes maximum. If you can please raise your hand if you're planning on making public comment. We have 2. Okay, we have 3. All right, so we have 5 minutes each. Each of you will have 5 minutes, and y'all can go whatever order you would like to go. Mr. Keith will be the timekeeper, and he will let you know when you get to 1 minute, and then at 5 minutes also.
Hi, my name is Hope Hughes. Thank you for this opportunity to address you. I was once a teacher at DCS, and I fully understand the amazing teachers in our district that cannot speak for themselves for fear of retribution. This is why I'm here. Teachers and administrators are mandatory reporters. How can a teacher, an admin, or board member support both a pedophile and children? How can this district continue to employ teachers and admin, an assistant principal, who wrote letters supporting a pedophile who admitted these vile acts against students in this county, against a student in this county? A daughter, a granddaughter, a student in your county, in your district. I am calling for the immediate resignation of Michelle Henley and every single DCS employee who wrote a letter of support for this pedophile. This admitted pedophile, you can look at me, with 64,000 pages of evidence supporting the fact that she's a pedophile. We cannot and will not support those who protect pedophiles. This situation affects every student in our schools. Every student deserves a safe place at school. Every teacher should be putting the well-being of children above all else. It's a shame that I have to point out that they should be putting children and victims above a pedophile of all things. This is the point that we're at? That we have teachers and admin and school board members supporting a pedophile in court, knowing the evidence, knowing that she admitted doing it? Every teacher should be putting the well-being of children above all else. This is not happening. You are protecting, Michelle Henley, are protecting those who are with children every day. You are protecting a pedophile. You are. You're protecting those who are with children all day, every day, yet wrote letters. You all, the full board, are protecting 9 teachers and one assistant principal who wrote letters to support the character of an admitted pedophile. This is a disgrace to our state, our county, our education system. Mr. Usselton, with all due respect, I am asking you to lead and protect our children, to see that those supporting a pedophile have no place in our schools. Our tax dollars should not go to pay the salary of those who protect pedophiles. The parents of children in every classroom should have the assurance that this district puts children first and demands that its teachers, admin, and board members also put children first. By letting these pedophile supporters to remain employed, you're putting a stain on every school in our district, a stain on every classroom, and painting a very clear picture that the pedophile is more supported than the victim, than the children. If you will not, this is a black and white. It's really a black and white issue. It really is. Either the pedophile and her supporters or the children of our district. Can't be both.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. We had 2 other speakers. Next speaker, you can come on up. Now, yours will be an executive session, Ms. Franklin. You can. You can, yes.
Hello. My name is Nancy Kipper Cotner. I know Michelle pretty well. I used to know her back our kids used to go to school together. But I have a couple of things I want to ask y'all. I appreciate y'all doing this, appreciate the opportunity to speak while I'm here. Is this meeting, I mean, I'm ashamed to say this is the first board meeting I've ever been to. So is this meeting always at 3 o'clock when mothers and parents and grandparents are in school lines to pick up children? Is it always at 3 o'clock or just today's 3 o'clock?
3 o'clock.
It's always 3 o'clock. Is there any way y'all can talk about doing something different with that? Because I know a lot of people that wanted to come here today, and they feel like that it's really convenient for y'all, especially her, that they couldn't come and speak because they're in line picking up their children. So, any chance I could ever change? No, anyway. Okay, well, let me ask y'all another question. Who here knows about Loudon, Virginia, and the school board and everything that's going on up there? Not a one of y'all? Not one person. I bet Michelle knows. I know Michelle knows because when she ran for this, you want me to bring my DMs up here where I asked you, hey, what do you feel about all this stuff going on? Because I know, Michelle, we all have people in our families that are different, you know, and you can look at that however you want to look at it. I had mine too. And as long as I was sitting out here, you're staring right at me. Now you won't look at me. We all have different people in our families. I don't care what people do in their families, but you know what? And I'll go get I ask you, any chance that you or any board member that you know about, we start heading towards so far left that we'll end up like Loudon, Virginia? I'm begging y'all, because I'll be back next week. And I will ask the same question to see what's going on in Loudon, Virginia. That's where people, a person a public member went to jail because he was upset because his daughter got sexually assaulted in their bathroom by a boy wearing a skirt because he wanted to be a boy, because he said he wanted to be a girl. So he puts on a skirt, he goes in the bathroom. He sexually assaults this man's daughter. He's trying to get up and speak. I'm shocked y'all know about it. Go look it up. He gets tunneled by the police. You know, this guy's standing so close to me, I feel like he's fixing to pummel me because I'm speaking up, which is my right to speak up. This guy, he got sent to jail, found out later that the boy that went in a skirt to the girls' locker room, who was allowed, this is allowed. And this is what I'm worried about where we're going. And her judgment is so screwed up and so off, she'll be the leader of like, well, y'all come. No offense, but some of y'all, just like me, we're not 30 anymore. She's gonna run the gamut of getting the people just like her, that believe like her, that have sympathy for molesters, just like she does. And the next thing you know, we'll have boys in our girls' bathroom. Except for we're not gonna stand for it. This is it. What she's done, thankfully, you'll have a full house from here on. From here on. I've got 4 grandkids coming up. And if they don't get homeschooled, they're probably gonna be going to school right here in Desoto County. So when I come back next week, I beg of y'all that when I say, did y'all look into Loudon County? You raise your hand, because that's exactly where everything's going. Everything's going. Next thing we know, we got boys in girls' bathroom just because they can put on a skirt. I didn't finish. You know what happened to that boy? Or, you know, he had already sexually assaulted someone in another school. They just sweep it over, moving to a different school, and he does it at a different school. She is a sympathizer of molesters and pedophiles. I don't know why. Because I have people in my family that I sympathize with, but when we're talking about children, Michelle, you pick what's right for children, not what's right for the molester. And you proved us, you showed us where your judgment is. You need to go. This is not going to stop. You need to go.
Thank you. Our next speaker, you go ahead and come up. Once again, 5 minutes, please. And no personnel or student matters.
I didn't expect to speak today. Michelle,
Can you state your name, please?
My name's Katie Sasso. I have 2 children.
Thank you.
I'm a victim. My daughter is a victim. How can you stand up there and make excuses for what you did? You are destroying the public trust in your office. I stayed quiet so that victim can run. We will not forget what you've done. If you cannot resign and do the right thing for this community and allow us to heal, because I can guarantee I am not the only one in this room who has survived. And you making excuses for a pedophile, and I appreciate the respect that you're looking me in the eyes as I say this to you. That is exactly what allows this to continue. Hiding the teachers and the assistant principal who wrote those letters. You had an opportunity to retract your statement. You are a mother. What if this had happened to your daughter? And it was this close. It could have been yours. And you threw your child under the bus, blaming her for your choices.
Right.
You made that letter. You got on the stand. You looked that victim in the eyes as she recounted what happened to her. The board has asked you to resign. We have asked you to resign. I'm asking for systemic change in this school board and ongoing policies that does not allow a woman like this, teachers like that, assistant principals, to write those letters and hide. Because otherwise, this will happen again. Someone else, someone who doesn't look scary. What's scary? Define scary. Can you do that, Ms. Michelle? Was the predator, I refuse to say her name here, was she scary to you? No? That is what monsters are. They come in and they make you believe they're not. You always believe the victim. Always. Hands down. And you sat up there and you told that girl that what happened to her didn't matter. My child cried to me one night. Why did I come forward? She's younger than the victim. And already that's in her head. And adults like you that she should trust make her think it wasn't worth it. Because the status quo is more important than doing the right thing. I don't care who you are to me. If you're accused of something this disgusting, I never knew you. I don't care if you were kind to my child. You did something like this, we're done. Children are to be
You have
protected
1 minute.
always. You've had multiple people ask you to resign. At this point, it's pride, and Jesus is watching. Thank you.
Last public comment. Ms. Franklin, you say you had a comment that's not related to the other issue?
It's related, I don't name any names.
Okay, well, we'll just do the request to appear here then. That's what you want to do.
What do you mean?
I mean, we either will hear it in executive session or hear it here. So if you want to go ahead and hear it here without any names mentioned, then we won't worry about executive session. Is that what you prefer?
We can do both, it's whatever.
But I was going to say, we need to do one or the other.
We can do it here.
Do it here?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You'll have 10 minutes because you're on the request to appear.
I just need 5.
Okay, all right. We can do 5. So,
All right.
Mr. Keith, keep up with it.
Got it.
Thank
Good
you.
evening.
Hey,
I'm here as a concerned parent and community member to speak about student safety, specifically regarding transportation. Recently, there has been serious incidents involving students on district buses. These situations raise concerns about whether staff are consistently following safety protocols to protect our children. Parents and guardians deserve transparency about how these incidents are handled, and we need clear communication and accountability from staff and administration. I respectfully request that the board review transportation policies, ensure all staff are trained and hold them responsible for these safety procedures. Every child deserves to ride to and from school knowing that they are safe and protected. When staff give conflicting accounts of what has happened to students on these buses, we need accountability. If transportation is going to continue to be an issue, we need to pull our kids off of these buses. If cameras are not going to work on these buses, they need to be off the buses. They need to be functional. I also would like to add, staff should not be dismissive of parents' issues when it comes to our kids. When kids are injured, there needs to be accountability as to what happened, why, and where. Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Frank. So that concludes our request to appear and public comment portions of the board meeting.
I need a motion for consideration of closed session to determine whether the board shall enter the executive session for the following matters: student discipline matters.
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chase will come back and inform whether we stay in executive session. The next board meeting is scheduled for Thursday, November the 20th, 2025 at 10 a.m. And our next request to appear in public comment will be at our board meeting on Thursday, December the 4th at 3 p.m. Thank y'all for coming today.
Thank y'all for letting us speak.
Shame on you, Michelle Henley.
Please check out Loudoun County, Virginia. Please, you guys, please.